Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Karen, and I want to tell you a ghost story. Ooh. Anyways, it's a stormy night here in Carter County, Kentucky, and the power is off. I wanted to take this opportunity to tell you a scary story that me and my sister experienced when we were younger. It's not for the faint of heart. Whoa. Sorry about the pauses there. I thought the electric was coming back on, but it didn't. Anyways, we were raised up in Martin County, Kentucky. We were always kind of sensitive. I know it's kind of hard to see me in the dark, but I have this little candle. It's not doing much good. But we were always kind of sensitive to the paranormal, I guess, or ghosts, things like that, spirits. Me and my sister both, we've always been that way. We were raised up in church. You know, we went our whole lives to church. My sister is, to this day, a Sunday school teacher, married to a preacher. I had a little rougher road, so to speak. I ended up on drugs at a young age and continued my addiction up until 12 years, this October. But I've always believed in God and read the Bible, and, you know, with that background, it was always wrong in our eyes to fool with anything like that, but we know what we have seen, and it's hard to explain sometimes, and a lot of people think you're crazy, but we are from Appalachia, and there's a lot of scary stories. This one that I'm talking about tonight, if I even decide to post this on YouTube, because it's kind of a personal ghost story, I guess you could say. But and it's not like many people's going to see it, so there's that. But yeah, it's about my grandpa. He was an amazing Christian man, and he passed away in 1999, or 91, I'm sorry, I graduated in 99. He passed away in 91. Excuse me. Anywho, where did I leave off? Papa passed away in 91. And I was 10 years old, I think, at the time, and my sister is younger than me, so she was probably, I want to say 8, maybe 7. And, you know, we were mean little kids. Not too bad, but we were hyper, and we wasn't perfect by any means, but we were, for the most part, we were good little kids, but we liked to experiment. And, you know, we done what a lot of kids, you know, at that age were doing, you know, who wasn't mixing up, you know, witch's brews and concoctions and things like that for their mother to taste, or, you know, pretending to do spells, things like that nature. That's what we done growing up, you know, light as a feather, stiff as a board, things like that. I grew up in Smoky Bottom, and all the kids in my bottom, you know, and stuff like that were into things like that. Were y'all? Or, I don't know, maybe that was just us. I'm 44. I'll be 44. And, you know, I was born in 1980. But like I said, I was 10, and my sister was probably 7 and a half. And my grandfather had just passed away. So, I am so sorry for all these interruptions, but, where did I leave off? My grandpa had just passed away, and my cousin Amy and my sister Jennifer and me were in the living room of our home, in the bottom where we were raised. And my grandpa hadn't been dead maybe a couple of days at this time. And he raised me. He adopted me and he raised me. And I was with him constantly. And my sister was always around with us, with my mom and dad. They were always around, but my grandpa raised me. Anyways, that's neither here nor there. But they were going to move back in at that time because Papa had passed away. So we were in the living room, sitting at the table, and Papa's door was closed to his bedroom where he used to sleep before he got put in the hospital. My grandpa died of cancer. I miss him so much. But anyways, my sister can verify this, by the way. Maybe someday we'll get together and tell some more stories, but for now, let me finish this one. We were sitting in the dining room, living room. Oh my gosh, I'll get it together in a minute. And we were sad, you know, my grandpa dying, and we didn't really understand death that much, but we were seeing things and feeling things and didn't know what any of it meant at the time. Still don't really know. But at that table that night, 3 little girls were petrified, scared to death. But at the same time, now that I'm older looking back, I don't feel like we were ever in any danger, or I don't know that it was my grandpa, because I don't know what happens after we die, you know. But what I'm about to tell you scared us to death. We were sitting at the table and we were playing some kind of game. And my grandpa's door, the light was on. You could kind of see underneath the door when the light was on. And we got to talking and we were like, do you see something over there? Jenny was like, yeah, I see that. And I was like, oh man, I do too. So here we go, which wasn't, 20 foot from where we were at, but we got down on our hands and knees and was looking under the door, and we seen feet. But in the feet, I don't know, I can't say in the feet, but the feet were socks. Oh, scary, no. We seen shoes, like feet, socks, walking underneath that door. Sorry for the interruption. My child came down the steps. But underneath the door, we had seen my grandpa's feet with shoes or socks on, whatever, just walking underneath that door. And we looked at each other and we ran back to the couch and sat down. Well, we were like, did you see that, My cousin's like, yeah, I seen it. I was like, I've definitely seen it. And we were like, we got to get, who's going to tell? And are they going to believe us? Like, my mom was outside on the porch, and I'm not sure where my dad was. He was out there somewhere, but we were like, who's going to tell Mom? She would have thought we was crazy, Later on we did tell her, but after that, we were still sitting in the living room. And the coat hanger that was hanging on the doorknob starts spinning out of control, like fast around the doorknob with nothing there, just us 3 kids. And at that time, it was getting loud. And a lemon scent filled the room. It just smelled like lemons in the house for some reason. And, we done seances and things like that. It's untelling what we did unleash in that house years and years and years ago. But we were kids messing around, When that clothes hanger spun on that door, child, let me tell you, 3 kids went out one door. Lickety split. When I tell you, we ran. And we still talk about it to this day. I've got so many of these ghost stories, y'all. Way scarier ones than that, but that was our first experience with the dead, spirits, ghosts, whatever you want to call it. That was our first experience with anything. And we have so many more ghost stories. I thought I would jump on and tell this one. See if you guys want to hear any more. If you do, let me know, because I've got all kinds of them, and the electric will hopefully be back on, and which I don't know, kind of makes it, you know, spooky. But yeah, that was our first experience with the dead. And I have some footage of one ghost that we managed to catch on camera. I don't know how I would ever upload it on here because I'm not sure how to do none of that stuff. But, you know, for 3 kids, that scared us to death. We talked about it growing up. Me and my sister just talked about it the other night. And my house is haunted. My dogs see things just really, really weird. We live right across from a cemetery, things like that, you know. I don't know. But lots more where this can come from. And if you guys are interested, like and subscribe, and that way I'll know if you do want to hear more. Hopefully in a better setting and when the lights are on. But this made for a scary story. I'll talk to you guys next time. Bye.